Welcome, and I'm glad you made it to this next lesson in this series of videos with guitar control. My name is Matias Rengel, and right now we're going to be checking out how to play smooth changes on the guitar with voice leading. We're going to be using the song Gravity by John Mayer because, it has super simple chords and kind of has some interesting progression. We're definitely going to be using triads, first inversions, second inversions, and we're going to be making super smooth changes. So make sure, if you haven't, make sure you watch the last video that I showed with the song Santeria by Sublime, where I explained everything about triads and how to play different inversions all over the fretboard, because it's extremely useful and you're going to need it right now. So I am playing a very simplified version of the song. Not super simplified, but the actual song has 7 chords, and right now we're not going to be using 7 chords. We're going to be using only triads. The basic chords that he's playing are G, right? Then he goes to C. Then he repeats that kind of like a little bit, right? And then he goes to C once again. Then he goes to A minor. Then he goes to D. Then he goes to, we're going to say that he goes to B flat, okay? Then he goes to E flat major, and then finally, once again, in D major. The song originally has of course, a lot of stuff. It's a really cool song, but that's not the point right now. So the point is that you got the tools right now to play chords all over the fretboard, right? As we were learning in the last video, you are able now to play triads in different inversions here, 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 many places. But it doesn't always sound great just to be moving around. So there's this technique called voice leading. So with this technique, what you're trying to achieve always, you're trying to achieve the less movement on your fingers and on the notes. So you're trying to say it easily, you're trying to move the notes of the chords into the closest notes of the next chord. So for example, if I had a C, and if I have the G, right, and the C, you're not going to want to this is not voice leading. If I was doing something like this. See how there's definitely a change of tonality right there. There's this one is high and this one is low, right? So voice leading means that you're going to do something closer. So right there, that's voice leading, see? And depending on your choice of chords and how you start the song, if you start on the first inversion, second inversion, or root position, that's going to depend on how the voice leading is going to go and whether it's going to go down or up and stuff like that. So let's take an example, as I was saying right here, the song John Mayer, Gravity by John Mayer. So let's take the first 2 chords. So G and C. So G is made up of G, B, and D. Just to refresh, we got G, 4 frets up, 1, 2, 3, 4. We got B, which is the major third. And then from G, once again, we're going to go to 7 frets up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right there. We got the D. So that's our basic chord. We have other stuff like this that the notes are being doubled and played, duplicated. But right now, this is the basic chord. If you play just that, that sounds like a G. Whatever country you're at, whatever world, it sounds like a G. So we're going to go to C. We got C, E, and G. 1, 2, 3, 4 are E. 5, 6, 7 are G. Easy. If this was a C minor, it would be 3 steps, three frets from C. Remember? 1, 2, 3. It will be E flat. And that will, because this one sounds major, right? But that one says minor. So just to clarify it, because I mean, it's good to go back to different things that we've seen before. So you get it, you learn it better and better. So we got those 2 chords. So now, if I just play that, that's definitely not voice leading that we're trying to achieve. So let's see, if we start right here, and let's say that we want to use the 6th, the 5th, and the 4th string, and we don't want to move. We want to move the least possible amount of frets, okay, to go to the C. This is how you do it. You count the notes here, G, B, and A. The first thing that you think about is there any notes in common between G major and C major? And yeah, actually, there is. We have, in fact, the G, which is the root of G major. It also happens to be the 5th of C. Remember that C major was made up of C, E, and G. So there you go. We don't really need to move. Now we know that when we change to C, we don't need to move this finger. It can stay there because it's part of C. So now, in the next string, we have B. What's the closest note to B on C major? It's actually C. Because we are already playing G, right? C major is made up of C, E, and G. And we are already playing G right here. So E is a little bit far from B, right? This is B and this is B, E. But C, man, it's right there, like right next to it. So there you go, G, C. And now all we need to do is go into the 4th string and look for the E. It happens to be right there. There you go. What do we have right here? We are our lowest note is always going to determine the inversion. This is our lowest note, G, right? Because this one is higher in tone. You can hear that it's higher. So G, we are starting the chords, the C major on G. What does that tell us? If it starts on G, G is the 2nd note of C. It means that that's a 2nd inversion. So we're playing the 2nd inversion of C. There you go. We can play now. We can go an octave higher. See how smooth it sounds? It's because we're moving the least amount of frets possible. And that's the beauty of voice leading. It's gonna make your compositions, it's gonna make your improvisation, everything sound better, you know? You're gonna sound more professional like this. So the way I just showed you how to do it, it's of course a little bit of a technical way. This is how you're gonna wanna do this. You're gonna want to memorize the shapes, okay? So you're gonna memorize the shape. So this is C major 1st inversion, C major 2nd inversion, then it goes back to C major, an octave higher, right? So you're gonna memorize different shapes in different set of strings. So we're gonna use always strings next to each other, okay? So 6th, 5th, and 4th. That's one set of strings right there. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you a diagram on the screen so you can see it. So we're playing C major, right? Or in fact, let's change to G major so we make it easier. So we start here in G major. We're gonna go into the 1st inversion, 2nd inversion. This is still G major. And then an octave higher. And then you can go back down. Now we're gonna go into the 5th, 4th, and 3rd string. So we're gonna start here. 1st inversion, because we're starting on the B, which is the 2nd note of G. 2nd inversion. Root position. 1st inversion, an octave higher, which is the same as this. Now we're gonna go into the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string, okay? For that, We're gonna start actually open right there. And here, first reposition, okay? First inversion, second inversion, octave higher, same as right there. And now into the third, second, and first string. Second and first inversion. Second inversion. Root position. Now that's only for G major. You can do the same thing for C major. And in fact, I'm going to put it right now on the screen. All of them. So you're going to have all over. So I'm going to put all of them right now over the string. I'm going to be alternating between all of them. So what you want to do, what I want you to do with this, I want you to grab the different chords and I want you to play them in a voice leading, with voice leading, right? We're going to play this song. So for example, you will go something like, and only using one set of strings, okay? And we'll go into the A minor, into the D, and now we're going to the B flat, now into the E flat major, and back to this D. And that is extremely great if you're like jamming with someone and you just want to like make little arrangements, right? It's like perfect. Like, so remember, what you're trying to look here is to look for the closest inversion from the next chord. So for example, I'm here and I gotta go to C, and I know that this shape of C, which is the second inversion, is close to that one. So a good way to memorize this, you're gonna be like, oh my God, there are so many inversions. How do I memorize this? So a good way to memorize this, don't be so afraid. A good way to memorize them is to have a reference. So when I am here, why do I know that this is the second inversion of C? Because I see this C right here, and I already memorized that this shape is at this distance from the root. For example, when I'm here, I play this one of C. Why do I know this is C? Because I know that this one is at that distance of this C. So of this root position. So wherever you are, right, it's like you are like, oh, A flat major. You know that this is A flat major. You happen to be there, so you're gonna be like, well, this shape is right there because it's always like at that distance from this root position, right? Like if you are like in the E flat that we were playing, and you're gonna play this one because you know that this is right there, right? And you always have to have the root position, like the first note of the chord in mind when you're trying to do this stuff. You gotta, it's the only way on guitar. I mean, I bet there are people who maybe learn the notes in a way like when you play piano, because when you play piano, you're thinking more of notes more than, I don't know, than shapes. But here in guitar, is most of the time you're just thinking of shapes. So it's gonna be super useful if you just see the root in your head, okay, wherever you are. So when doing this, play the John Mayer song, then play the roots. And that's the way you're gonna go for it. So you have all the inversions right now of the Triad. So what I want you to do, don't be limited to this song by John Mayer. Just grab different songs or just make up random progressions and make smooth chord changes. Don't grab a set of strings and try to move the least amount of frets possible. And there you're gonna be making incredible voice leadings. And that's it.